Damn it, I really thought I'll start working out on Monday. The plan is to get in 6 workouts a week, and if I'm feeling frisky, run every day as well. This is not the first time I'm getting serious about my physical fitness. As a matter of fact, it's not even my second or third attempt. Maybe it's my fourth or fifth. Who's keeping track of these things anyway? My motivation for working out has always been different each time I start. On this attempt, I'm purely driven by 3 things: taking back my willpower, getting a vanity body, and physical health. On this video, I share with you what I consider the foundational principles of working out every day. This video not only applies to you if you're trying to work out every day, but if you're trying to do something hard that demands consistency, I think you'll have a couple of takeaways from this video. If I get into the work, I think I should get through the first point. If you want to work out every day consistently, the first thing is you have to want it. If you want to do anything hard, you have to want to do it. And if you don't want to do it, you must be willing to make yourself do it. My partner often says to me when I'm trying to start something, do you really want to do it? If you want to do it hard enough, it should be very easy to start. First step, get yourself to a place where you want to do it. I didn't wake up today and decide I'm going to start working out today. It's been leading up for weeks, if not months, just talking to myself and encouraging myself to consider running, because once you start, you should not stop. That's the trick. You have to want to start. You have to want to keep going. You have to want the results. You want to achieve the goals you're setting out for yourself. I want you to pose that question to yourself every time you are considering doing something you're not certain whether you'll see it through. Do I really want to do it? If you do not want to do it, don't start. What happens is when you start and leave something halfway, the next time you try to do it, it's going to be that much harder to start again, because you have that stench of failure. You have that perception that you failed before, so you'll fail again. And that wasn't the problem. The problem was you didn't have the right mindset. You weren't ready to start, but you're making yourself start. So get to a place where you want to do that thing that is hard. If it's working out, want to. Imagine the results you will get. Waking up in the morning to run, working out when you're sore, keeping to your diet, mastering discipline that you haven't mastered before. Get yourself to a place where you really want to start and your mind is set. It's going to be that much easier to start and a little harder to stop, because your mind was already made up when you started.
Welcome to Fitify. Next exercise, Windmills.
Number 2. Number 2.
Since I like labeling things, we shall call this the minimum viable provisions principle. In an unnecessarily convoluted way, I'm trying to say, whenever you're trying to start something, set the minimum number of requirements you need. Don't complicate it. Make it as simple as possible. And that gives you less excuses when you're trying to start. I'll give you an example. My minimum viable provision for working out is nice running shoes. They don't even have to be nice, they just have to be comfortable running shoes. If I'm able to run in them, they're just perfect. I don't pay too much attention to the outfit that I'm wearing. The reason I set my minimum viable provisions for running as shoes is, as long as I have shoes, I'll run. I don't have any other excuse. And we often do this to ourselves. When you, for example, want to start a business, you tell yourself, I need a logo, I need to register the business, I need to find, you complicate the process, you set obstacles, and all you needed to do was just start. course, since you're trying to do something long term, you need to have at least some form of preparation, and that's where the minimum viable provisions comes in. You figure out what is it that I critically need, and that's what I'm going to prepare for, and that's what I'm going to need, and that's the only obstacle I will have before I start. So 3 weeks ago I got my running shoes, and since then I've been telling myself, you've got to start working, you've got to start working out. Before that, I was telling myself, but you don't have shoes, so you can't start. The conversation shifted to, you've got the shoes, now you can start running. There's no other obstacle. The only obstacle that remained was me starting, and I think today made a start of it. What is it that you are trying to do and are being prevented from starting because you haven't applied the minimum viable provisions principle?
The third thing is submitting to the idea that it's going to be very boring. Exercising involves a lot of structure, and if you are anything like me, you find structure very boring. Doing the same thing over and over and over again, that gets pretty boring pretty quickly. However, if you're trying to do something hard, something challenging, something that requires discipline, you're gonna have to get rid of those sentiments on structure pretty quickly. You have to submit to the idea that hard work is boring. Working out doesn't have to be fun, doesn't have to be exciting. In fact, it might be doing fun things that got me unfit in the first place. There's a lot of utility that you get from withstanding boring shit. When you're trying to learn new skills, the learning curve can get very steep and it can get very boring. But if you've mastered enjoying boring shit, you're gonna have a much easier time being consistent in that new thing you're trying to do. And with that, I'm going to sign off this video. It's been a very fun one to make, and as usual, I filmed it the last minute, lost light in the process, but who cares, man? As long as you got your Friday dose of Stanley. With that, stand out.